Hello, everyone. My name is Emily Golia. I'm an actor, singer, and creator here in Los Angeles, and I am so excited to be here with model, photographer, and educator, LIOR ALLAY. How's it going, LIOR?
Hey, thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to talk to you today.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited you're here. Before we get started, I'm going to show everyone a couple of images.
Oh, sure.
I love these mermaid images so much. Can you tell me about this shoot? That's like so beautiful. I mean, all of your
Sure.
photography, all of everything that you do, the modeling and the photography and the you say muse. I love that. Let me be your muse. You use that a lot. It's so incredible and so powerful. And oh my God, I'm so sorry that's not on silent. So amazing. Like, oh my gosh. So tell me about these photos and then I'll ask you more questions.
Yeah, okay, totally. So my photography and modeling has sort of come from a place of wanting to heal. It's my career, but it was in the beginning, it was the way that I got connected with my body, and it's the way that I got connected with my environment and with the earth. And I identify as an ecosexual, which means that my primary eroticism is my connection with the earth. So being in nature is what is my greatest turn on. And I'm always looking for ways to like embed myself and like become a part of the landscape. And I achieve this through a lot of different ways of posing, some a little bit of risk taking, like some of the photos from the mermaid point or the mermaid pools were literally like 500-foot cliffs that I climbed up soaking wet while like hundreds of pounds of water like crash up and over and on top of me, like landing on me and filling my boots. And like, there's a lot of trust that has to happen in my process because I go to places typically alone or just with one other person. And I am looking for the way in which the land is inviting me inside of it. So looking for opportunities for interpenetration, ways that I can allow myself to be in this liminal space with like layers of nature sort of like holding me in and holding me up. And I think that's like that photo is like a really good example of that because that space was literally 5 minutes away, or I mean, 5 minutes by car, 2 hours walking. But right down the street in Hawaiian like length
Yeah.
distances from where I was staying. And I would go down and I would sit and I would sing to the ocean and dance with the ocean every single day. And there were people that actually in the place that I shot that were killed like at different times because if you go the wrong day and you're not paying attention and the ocean doesn't want you in it in that way, you're going to get wrecked. So
Yeah.
it's this like, I think all of nature is like that, where if we're not deeply listening and we're not being respectful and we're not honoring the earth, she will just take from us, and rightly so, because we're not treading lightly and honoring the ways in which we're interconnected. So my modeling and photography is like a spiritual conduit for me to share the connection that I have with the earth intimately and personally with other people and get them curious about, if maybe do they want to be that deep in their body? Do they want to be like that connected to nature? Do they want to feel those, feelings washing through them?
Yeah.
Um, you
Absolutely.
know,
I'm hooked. I'm in. You got me. I'm here. Like, I'm all about that. Oh my gosh, that's so beautiful. So, where were you born? Where'd you grow up? And when did you like realize that this kind of work was what you were destined to do?
Ooh, well, I grew up in Philly,
Okay.
and that was rough. And I never really went to school in the place that I lived because my parents were separated. So I was always like bouncing around. I didn't really have many social connections. Like my horse was my primary friend. It was like my pets were really where I was
Feel that.
finding connection. And I went to school I thought I was going to be a vet. I
Yeah.
thought I was gonna be a vet. And then like, trauma caught up with me and I was like, oh, I can't even function like in a regular way, let alone being able to pursue something this hard. So I switched to English composition
Okay.
And in studying English, I realized that I maybe wanted to be an artist. Maybe secretly the whole time I wanted to be an artist, but everyone was telling me, like, what a waste of an intellect that would be if you were to be an artist. You're too smart for that. Like, they really were just shaming me hardcore, and I was like, okay, well, maybe this is a way that I can be creative and also still like be good in
Yeah.
society's terms. And then I kept getting paid to model, and I was like, I I'm a writer. What the heck?
Right.
But everyone wanted to pay me to model. So I just sort of fell into it because I was like, I was getting paid to model, and then I wouldn't love the photos that people would take of me.
Okay.
So I was like, I know it's not me. I got to be hotter than this. So what's going on here? And then I started taking photos, and then I was like, oh, they're not getting the angles right. Like, now I know how to see myself, and I know how to position myself so a photographer can't get a bad shot of me. Like, good
Okay.
luck
Good.
getting a bad shot of me.
Yeah.
You might get a candid, but you're not going to get like an unflattering shot because I got it down.
Oh
And
my God, I love that.
yeah, so like photography and modeling was like, it started off as just a thing that I was getting paid to do. And then I was like, all right, if I'm getting paid to do this, I want to do it well.
Yeah.
And then it just sort of took off. And I was like, oops, it's been 10 years. I guess this is what I do now.
Oh my God, it's incredible. So when did you realize that you and the earth were one with
I
photography?
was in school to become a yoga teacher, and I was dealing with some symptoms of trauma that were really overwhelming and like disrupting my life. And I wasn't really able to like form connections, and I felt really, really lonely. And in practicing spiritual movement and creating a spiritual practice out of movement, um, I got to a place where I was able to see what in my natural, because I always felt good when I was alone in nature. I've always felt perfectly peaceful. And then when people would get around, I'd be like, ooh, I don't feel safe anymore. I don't like this. Ooh, it was like icky. And doing yoga outside is like literally what I just would realize. I would sink away and disappear, and it was like I was just a part of like a little particle of dirt, like a little worm in the ground. Like, I just felt so like held. And then I just kept chasing those experiences. I was like, oh, freedom, it's right. Oh, it's here, it's outside,
Yeah.
right there.
Oh my gosh. Do you live in a place that like allows you to access nature easily?
Oh yeah, I moved out of the city. That was a huge thing that I did for my mental and physical health, and I hike every single day.
Right.
Yeah,
Good.
like
Yeah.
have to,
Yeah. Oh
even
my
if it's
gosh.
cold.
Even just talking to you, I'm like feeling so inspired to go hiking and camping, which like, I mean, during the pandemic, I fell majorly in love with nature in a way that I
Oh
hadn't
yeah.
before. Yeah.
It's like nothing heals you better. I actually caught COVID like while I was in Hawaii, and I didn't even feel any symptoms of it until I got on the plane to go home.
Oh my
I
God.
had it for like 14 days while I was there, but the amount of vitamin D and like swimming and the fruit I was eating, I felt completely
Oh
fine.
my God. It's amazing.
It was bizarre. And then I got back here and I was like, oh, I'm sick.
Okay.
Oh no.
Oh God. Oh my gosh. Wow. Okay. Well, do you have any advice to other artists and people out there that are looking to connect more with themselves and with nature and like be like find that clarity?
Yes. So I would say always be in a position where you could say no to a creative project if it does not align with your values and your vision. I
Mm.
think that a lot of us get stuck in this place where we think we have to take whatever comes our way because we're so lucky to even have anything as an artist, like that we're in this place where we sometimes feel like we can't say no, whether that's because of financial pressure or what. But I've always kept a very diverse stream of income because I made a commitment to myself that I would never do anything for money that I wouldn't do for free, because ultimately, like, your energy, what you bring as a collaborator is the most irreplaceable thing that you have. And if you want to stay in your body, that means only saying yes to things that actually feel like a yes in your body. Because when we consent to doing, sessions or concepts or types of work that doesn't actually feed us and maybe even is the opposite of what we believe in, it's self-betrayal. It gets you further from yourself. So I always try, and is it a privilege to be able to say no when money is offered to you? Yes. But also, we need to recognize when it's being used as an act of manipulation and it's not really something that is ringing true to you. And spending time alone in nature is a really easy way to like figure out, what does my yes feel like? Like, what does it feel like when I'm totally relaxed and I'm totally at peace and I feel held, my needs are met, I feel sovereign, right? Like strong. So like if something comes your way, like, oh, you could say no to that because you know something else is coming. And it's that like trust and faith that we don't necessarily get if we don't spend enough time creating alone or alone with nature. So
Wow.
self-portraits are the best. Go for a hike, take your camera.
Okay. I'm gonna go do that right now. You're like so inspiring. Oh my God. I
I
You're
love it.
amazing. I'm so obsessed with you. You are wonderful. I love you so much.
Oh, thanks.
I'm like, oh my God. But listen, I'm so excited to have you on the Phoenix platform. I think that it's going to be an amazing way for new people to find you and your artwork and for you to find collaborators and people need to hear what you're saying. I'm so inspired by you and I've learned so much just in our short conversation. So thank
Oh, thank you
you.
so much.
And yeah, I'm just so excited to see what's next from you. And yeah, it was really great to meet you.
So thank you so much for having me. I'm really excited that Phoenix is offering these kinds of opportunities to artists, and I'm super excited to see how it grows.
Yes, me too. Great. Have a great night.
You too. Bye.